Hey guys, it's 10 to 11 on Friday night, and I just moved into a new place about 2 months ago, so I'm in a ground level suite of a house now, and the landlord lives upstairs with her 2 teenage sons, and their grandma visits a lot, and I've noticed that the grandma's car and the mom's car haven't moved in a while, and so I figured they were away or something. And tonight, about 2 hours ago, the kids upstairs started having friends coming over, so now there's probably, I don't know, 15 people up there, I'm guessing. And I went outside and I said, hey, are you guys having a party? And they're like, oh no, we're just having a small gathering. So I went, knocked on the door and talked to the kid that lives upstairs, and I said, are you guys having a party? He said, yeah. And I said, well, where's your mom? Where's your grandma? Oh, they're in Mexico. And I thought, okay, now I understand what's going on. And I said, I don't have a problem with you guys having a party, as long as you could maybe let me know in advance so I can sort of plan my day, or go sleep somewhere else if I'm really tired or whatever, which I am today. I had a pretty crazy day. I got lost on a mountain for an hour and a half with a girlfriend and some dogs, and finally managed to find our way back out, and I had to run down the road back to the car because I had to go pick up my friend who was coming behind me because she had to make an appointment on time, and luckily she did. So I got a lot of exercise today. Not only that, but I also went to fitness class this morning, and then I had to run to a meeting I had with somebody, and then I had to go walk some other my friend's dogs because she needed me to walk them tonight, and then I kind of just wanted to have a quiet night and go to bed like by now. But that's not going to happen. So I said, well, what time are you guys going to be, partying till or whatever? And he said probably 12:30. And I said, okay, just maybe let me know next time. So that'd be just nice kind of thing. And so I can hear them all outside, and I quit smoking. I don't know how long ago now, but every now and then I'll just have one because actually, I don't know if you can say I actually quit because I'm still taking these nicotine mints. It's the lowest dose. It's only 1 milligram. The highest dose is 4 milligrams of nicotine. So I don't know if you can really say that I quit, but so I said, can I bum a smoke? And they said, oh, well, how much are you going to buy it for? And I said, 50 cents, because I think that's how much it works out to or something. They said, no, $1. So I bought one, and then I was standing out there smoking it, and I can hear them all, and they're obviously cutting up pot and smoking pot, and they've got a huge bong up there, and I mean, these guys are all probably 18, 19, and all the way down to 15, and it's really hard for me to not say anything to them about what happened to me. I know it's totally uncool for me to say anything, so I'm just kind of standing downstairs, and I can hear them all talking about getting high and saying, don't say anything, keep your mouth shut, because sometimes I just walk up to random kids and I just tell them what happened to me. But there are a lot of people that get really pissed off at you when you say marijuana can do anything bad. So I didn't say anything to them, although I did talk to one of the kids that lives here, and I did tell him, and he said, oh no, it's not marijuana that can make you go crazy, it's only the hard drugs like heroin and stuff like that. And I said, no, hey, look at this book, look at this title, this is what I have and this is what I got from marijuana. And this kind of opens a can of worms, I guess. When I post anything about what happened to me on under videos on YouTube that are about people saying that marijuana should be legalized, there's nothing wrong with marijuana, it doesn't do anything bad, there's no studies that have proven that marijuana use and schizophrenia are linked, but I as you will see over the next few years, there are studies that have shown that they're linked. There are studies that show the more marijuana you smoke and the younger you are, the more likely it is that you will develop schizophrenia. And marijuana doesn't only trigger schizophrenia, it also triggers panic attacks, and not just while you're high. Some people, it'll be their first panic attack while they're high, and then afterwards they keep having panic attacks throughout their lives, and marijuana is just sort of a trigger of that. And then of course depersonalization disorder, bipolar. I do have a good book. Let me just see if I can find it. I don't know if I showed you guys before. Hold on one sec. Trying to find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Marijuana and Madness. And it's by David Castle and Robin Murray. And it's actually just talks about a bunch of different studies that have been done. Says, for many decades, the debate about whether cannabis use can cause schizophrenia has remained unresolved. 15 years after the publication of the first evidence that cannabis may be a causal factor for later schizophrenia, 3 further epidemiological studies have recently provided supportive evidence. So basically this whole book shows that although the debate hasn't been solved yet, there is good evidence that cannabis and schizophrenia are linked, and cannabis does trigger schizophrenia. There's a documentary, I should post a link to it. It's called The Downside of High, and it is by the David Suzuki Foundation, and it talks a lot about marijuana triggering schizophrenia. And I think most educated people would probably agree that in order for marijuana to trigger a mental illness in somebody, they have to be genetically predisposed. I think, like I said, I think most people would agree to that if they know anything about genetics, and if they know anything about mental illness and marijuana and drugs and the brain. Marijuana isn't the only drug that can do things like this. I did mention, I think in my very first video, there's an organization called the National Organization for Drug-Induced Disorders, and it's noted.org. And the guy that has created that site, he has something called hallucinogen persisting perceptual disorder, and that's from ingesting a hallucinogen, and then once the drug is out of your body, you still see things as though you did when you were high. So you'll see like shimmering walls and swirls and stuff like that. I don't really know a lot about it, so hopefully I described that okay. But yeah, so I've kept my mouth closed, and I'm not going to say anything to them. I mean, I did it too when I was that age, and as you know, I wouldn't have done it having known what I did now. They just turned the music on again. I think I'm turning into an old hag. I'm about 30 years old. I don't really go out a lot. I don't really go to a lot of parties anymore. So I am looking into the noise bylaw just in case it goes on really late. But what do you guys think? You know, kids should be able to have parties. I just don't know if their mom and their grandma would approve. I'm not sure. But don't you think it would have been nice if they kind of like just warned me in advance, so I kind of expected and not just sort of, oh, I'm exhausted, oh, what the heck, what's going on upstairs? It's hard because if I don't take my meds, I can't sleep, and if I take my meds, any night I can't sleep if I don't take my meds. And if I take my meds and I go lie down and try and sleep, if I don't fall asleep right away, I start getting really, really bad heart palpitations. Or not palpitations, but my heart starts racing really, really fast. Especially if I'm walking around after I take the Seroquel. So I don't really know what to do. I'm tired. I was attempting to play the piano. I mean, I could start making another dog coat for my dog. Sewing, I guess, is one of my hobbies. Yeah, okay, I might as well go on about cannabis here. So, one of the things they talk about in The Downside of High, the documentary by the David Suzuki Foundation, is there's two, as we know now, there are two key compounds in marijuana, and one of them is THC, and one of them is something called cannabidiol. THC is the compound in marijuana that gives you the high, gives you the sort of altered perceptions of reality and distortions in time, perception, and even induces psychotic symptoms temporarily in the user. That's all part of the high of marijuana, and that's caused by THC. Now, cannabidiol, interestingly, does the opposite. It's really cool. This compound, if you administer just cannabidiol alone without THC, it actually is an anxiolytic, so it decreases anxiety. It's an antipsychotic. It decreases symptoms of psychosis. It's even an antidepressant. And my psychiatrist is actually researching its use in bipolar. So it's kind of cool. I know I sound like a nerd, but it's kind of cool that the actual, like, the antidote to THC is contained within the same plant, and that's the cannabidiol. It's commonly written as CBD, so if I ever write it anywhere, that's what I'm talking about. So a long time ago, way back when your parents were smoking pot, and maybe when your parents were smoking, even themselves were smoking pot when they were younger, the amount of THC in cannabidiol in marijuana was closer than it is now. Now THC has gone up and cannabidiol has gone down, and I'm starting to believe that the pot that I smoked that day maybe had levels of THC that were much higher than cannabidiol. So I was really excited to find out about this thing called cannabidiol. Oh my gosh, it's like pounding up there. I hope they're having fun. So so I've been researching it a bit, and in hemp, actually, which is used as a fiber for clothing and paper and stuff like that, in hemp, levels of cannabidiol are quite high and levels of THC are quite low. Hemp is called indica, and marijuana is called sativa, I think, if I get that right. But they're related, and I think they look very similar. So my current kind of idea right now is that if I can somehow get a hold of that cannabidiol and see if it helps my symptoms, because it's the marijuana that triggered my problems, well, I'd really like to try that. But the problem is there's no legal way to get cannabidiol currently. Possibly in the next few years. I've done a little looking into this, and interestingly, they have trialed the use of cannabidiol in those with schizophrenia. And what they found in a few studies now is that cannabidiol is just as effective as atypical antipsychotics, which are the newest antipsychotics out there. Just as effective and with fewer side effects. So, I mean, I have gained 40 pounds here, and you know, it'd just be nice if I lost that, and